Munhall Borough Council meeting, June 17th, 2025, 7 p.m. is now in order. Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. Mr. Constable, will you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody continue standing just for like a minute. The borough lost someone really special here on June 2nd. Everyone remember Martha Sloan. Martha was very special to me, it's very special to the borough. Martha did anything that needed to be needed, any time of day, anything we needed her to do, she did. She actually was the Munhall representative for the Jefferson Board for over 30 years. When I say Martha was a member, she attended every meeting, took notes, remind me of Miss Fry. She took notes everywhere she went, and she came back and she reported on everything. Martha also chaired the zoning hearing board, which I was a member of many years ago. And Martha just wasn't a member of the zoning hearing board. She was a damn near professional. She took extra education classes. When something was coming up for the zoning board, she looked into things, what was going to happen, what would be a good decision to make. She was fair. She also chaired the bicentennial committee 25 years ago. And it was such a success. We had such an event, there was money left over at the end, that she took the extra money, renovated the kitchen in the community room. That's kind of ironic. We no longer have a kitchen in our community room. She renovated it with a whole new kitchen, put air conditioning in the council chamber. She also served 1 or 2 terms on the school board. Martha did anything, anytime. She was missed, and we're very well missed. Thank you very much, and everybody keep Martha in your prayers. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Shields.
Here.
Mr. Eads.
Here.
Mr. Youngkins.
Here.
Ms. Fry.
Here.
Ms. Firestone.
Here.
Mr. Vodadian.
Here.
Mr. Elias.
Present.
Mr. Icy.
Here.
Chief Fuller.
Here.
Chief Poles.
Here.
Solicitor.
Present.
We
We have a quorum. We have an executive session. You noticed we were out here a few minutes early. So we're starting executive sessions at 6 o'clock. So whoever comes to these meetings, I'd have to be waiting for us to come out. It drives me crazy. We're going to try to get all our executive sessions done before 7 o'clock. So it was a very well versed executive session. We got a lot of information that we needed. So we should be ready for next month. Okay, public presentation, Ray Highland, Boy Scout.
He
He was in here last month.
So I'll try to make sure.
Well, he didn't make last workshop either.
Yeah.
So does he know we want him?
He does. He's been
Okay,
asking, so I'll
okay.
confirm with him.
Okay. Public presentation by Ray Highland, we're not going to do. Dwayne Schulte. Not Dwayne, it's Dwayne.
Wayne Schulte, Homestead Borough. I'm also on Homestead Council. Wanted to thank Bernie and the council members for allowing me to speak tonight.
Anything for you, Dwayne, you know that.
Yeah. Basically, years ago, Ray Bodner used to complain about the flyover bridge. There's a sign at the flyover bridge that says no vehicles over 40 feet should enter that bridge. In the past, as we know, tractor trailers got jammed in. And I know Homestead, I'm not sure about Munhall, but no, we have a fire truck that's over 40 feet. So, it was about 3 years ago, we had a meeting in Homestead. One of Senator Casey's aides were there. Some of you folks may have been there. I know some West Homestead Council people were there. And basically, it was concerning the development of the valley. And I brought up a very good point, and it was public safety. Secretary of Transportation, Michael Carroll, was there, and he said, I love your passion. And I said to him, I said, if there's a truck jammed up and can't get through that flyover bridge, and we have a train stopped on the tracks, which we had again today for quite a lengthy time, and I got photographs. And then if those ramps are backed up, which if there's a train there, those ramps are going to be backed up, the entire intersection from 837 into the waterfront was backed up. 7th Avenue was backed up. So if we had an emergency down there, such as, God forbid, a shooting or a fire in any of those buildings,
Or a car accident.
or a car accident, then we have one entrance to get into that waterfront. And that is only if it's not rush hour traffic, not Christmas traffic. So basically, if you remember the movie, The Perfect Storm, well, we have elements down there that's going to, at one time, and hopefully not, create the perfect storm. And I'm trying to avoid that. And on June the 3rd, in Hershey, I again met Secretary of Transportation Michael Carroll. And he told me, he said, as soon as you came in the room, I spotted you. Well, at the end of the meeting, I went over and talked to him. And I'm talking to him about getting a new flyover bridge built, possibly somewhere down in West Homestead. And I've talked to West Homestead President Council about it. I'm going to write a letter for Homestead Council. COG is on board, they're going to write a letter, and also the Enterprise Zone. I'm going to also go to the West Homestead Council. So I'm here tonight asking for everybody's support and join with us and me and write a letter encouraging the Secretary of Transportation to build that flyover bridge. I'm also going to get the county involved. I've talked to Austin Davis. When I see the governor again, I'll talk to him, etc. So basically what Michael Carroll said, you're one person and it's a $100 million project. So I need help to get this done, but we all should be concerned about it because we're talking about people's lives. That AMC theater down there is the second largest one in the country. God forbid if there's a fire there and we're 10 minutes late getting there, then instead of saving 1 or 2 lives, then maybe 5 or 10 will be lost because of our poor response time, because of the inefficiency of the traffic flow at a certain time. And like I said, it's probably a perfect storm brewing. It just hasn't happened. So that's basically what I have to say, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
So when do you want us to write the letter?
Whenever you want to. I
Okay.
mean,
Council all agreed that,
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
most definitely.
I mean, basically, I'm going to contact the waterfront and ask them how many businesses are down there, like what's their traffic pattern, how many vehicles.
Right.
And then also, we're getting a new apartment building down there where Mitchell's Fish Market's going
Is
to
that what's going on down there?
Yeah, 220 units, 100 in West Homestead, 120 in Homestead, probably 300 and some parking spaces. So that complicates,
Right.
the traffic flow. And so these are things we should be working on as a community and as a group, a cohesive group of all our 3 boroughs, including the county and the state.
Wasn't that supposed to be widened, our flyover, when they were doing all that work down there? And I know Ray,
That was Ray's thing,
Yeah.
we know.
yeah, he was with Fitzgerald,
And and Jay Costa also,
yeah,
right.
so that never happened.
No, it never happened. Ray was mad as a hornet when they didn't do that, and I know he squealed all the time about
He
it.
carried the Valley Mirror around wherever he went with the article about how bad the flyover was.
Oh, we know
Right.
they're.
He's looking at me right now, I know, he's
Yeah.
watching.
They're a big tractor.
He's definitely watching me. Yeah.
There have been tractor, there have been tractor trailers stuck there.
Yeah, oh, I know.
So it's a dangerous situation. It's just something waiting to happen.
I know someone who sat there and the tractor trailer rolled right up on the front of her car.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And one time I sat at that flyover, and then Tim will reinforce this particular statement. It was in May, Allegheny County deemed the Amity Street Railroad crossing as the most dangerous in Allegheny County.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
Wow.
I seen that.
And trucks still go over that flyover,
Yeah.
tractor trailers.
Yeah, so we should work on this as a group and just write the letter. That's at least a start.
There should be more cooperation between the 3 municipalities.
Right.
That's something we should be pushing for, all of us. Right.
All 3 of us.
Exactly.
Because I can't do it alone.
No. No. You have the support here.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Any public comments on agenda items? Any public comments on non-agenda? Give me again.
Agenda.
Okay, go ahead. He is an agenda item. You're late getting it. What's waiting for you?
William Hanna, 138 Carmel Drive. I'm here to talk about motion number 7, which is the Strategic Management Planning Program. I'm hoping that the council members understand what it is and what it tries to accomplish, but let me give you a few things. It is a preemptive step for boroughs, townships, and cities that have not been declared distressed under the Act 47. Okay, it is consulting services for 3 to 5 year financial plan, management review. It will provide an outline of short and long-term financial, managerial, economic development strategies to strengthen the financial capability of the borough. It is an important thing, but it does come with a lot of gotchas and a lot of things to do. If you haven't read this, you need to.
We've all just gone through all of them, the last,
Well, no,
Yeah, but
I'm
all
glad
the-
you've gone through the proposals,
all.
but the RFP that they put out is based upon this.
Right.
Okay, so this goes into quite a bit of detail. Okay, if you read page 2, and I think you should read that because the RFP is not as detailed as what the state is, but it talks about program objectives, which, you know, some of the things right there that they talk about that, you know, besides the financial things, it talks about best practices in your operations, staffing levels, but it also promotes multi-municipal and regional cooperation strategies for cost sharing between one or more local governments, okay? That could be merging things together, so that's a big thing. It is if you are awarded it, it is a 12-month process itself that will end up doing the current financial condition itself, and the basis of the financial condition has to do with some of the DCD forms, which David would be very familiar with, especially form number 69. And as early as 2021, our expenses exceeded our revenues. Right there are 12 points they put together if you were considered distressed, and probably should review that too with the borough manager. It will do a financial trend of 3 to 5 years. It will do emergency planning if needed. It's going to do a management audit. This is going to be pretty uncomfortable for some folks. You're going to have to interview some people. You're going to have to take a look at what they do. And you're going to have to, they're going to look at staffing levels. And these are not recommendations as you think that, well, I can just fluff it off. If you sign on the dotted line, it's a big deal. And it will provide for a multi-year implementation plan. That's phase 2.
Another minute.
What's that?
You're limited to 3 minutes.
Get there.
Okay?
Okay, you've got the maximum of $200,000, a 50% match. Don't waste any money, please. Okay, some of the other things right there is that if the DCD determines that there is unsatisfactory progress, the borough has to retain all the monies. So in other words, once they put this all together, you've got to follow through. It's that simple. I know you went through the RFPs, there's 5 bidders, a couple common things, they all have different levels of experience. They're all small, less than 10 employees, some use third parties, some have Act 47 experience, some do not. They all have at least one STMP study. Most of them have been in business for more than 10 years. They're all highly educated, and some of them have acted as civil service in the past. I would like to know what the criterion is going to be for selection, because that is what you're doing tonight. You're not awarding, because David, unless you can tell me wrong, you have not received this grant yet.
Oh, no, not officially, but we
So
applied
you
for
can
it.
select, you cannot award. I'd like to know, if you determine the criterion of picking folks, you've got 5 bidders. And the presentations, have there been presentations scheduled? Have you met with them? Have the council read the proposals? And have they read the information on the that was the state. So in summary, is this a good idea? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it better than a strategic plan? Yeah, it goes much further than that. Okay? But the question you gotta ask, what defines the criteria for success? You could spend up to $400,000. It's pretty simple. You get to phase 2. If you look on the state website, about $1 million been approved, and only 4 projects are going to phase 2 this year. One of them is in Sharpsburg. And here's one thing to remember about this. It's for 3 things. It's for IT technology, it's for additional consulting services in the implementation phase, and it's for intergovernmental work. It's not going to get you a park, it's not going to get you a bridge, it's not going to get you a street. So, last thing I have to say is, if you're going to do it, which I think is a good idea, you're going to need to follow through and don't waste our money. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Any public comments on non-agenda items?
Good afternoon, my name is Boyd Crin. Most of you know why I'm here. I'm here to see about the creek and the slide crawling, or it's called a slide. The people that you needed to sign your paper are all here today. They'll sign that paper for you if you got it written up. I talked to the ACCD, I talked to Wetlands. Wetlands will give you your money back and your grant. The DEP, they're still wondering why none of the stuff is being removed out of the creek yet, since it was promised over a year ago that was going to happen. So I need to know where you stand at on, is the work going to stop, or are you just going to proceed with this work?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm the solicitor, I'm well aware of the situation. My focus was more on the street because Munhall Borough was awarded a grant to repair the street with gravel or stone, not to be paved. And I said, well, the street is essentially on private property. It's a private road. It's how we did research, a lot of research, and the county, everyone agreed it's a private road. And the county conservation district said, we want the grant back unless you agree to take it as a public street. So we discussed it with council. Do you want to do this? It's a significant financial undertaking, and now make this a borough street. We have to maintain it forever, which we don't have that responsibility now. They said yes, but we had to have all the property owners agree. We were going to have an engineer do a survey. This is the street dimensions. There has to be a right of way. You have to sign off and give us this land, and then we'll own it and we'll maintain it. And I was told before the last meeting that everyone was not in agreement. And unless it was going to be paved, they would not sign off. So it died. I told everyone at council and said, well, those are the criteria, because our grant is to put down stone and gravel and not to pave it. So that ended it. But, you know, if everyone agrees to have stone and gravel, then we can try to revive it. I don't know if the grant funds are still available. But that's where we are, but that doesn't involve the creek, that's a separate issue. We were talking about the street.
All right, well, you're right, it does. But whenever they came in and drilled, you sent drillers in there. You sent a crew in there to dig out the roads and the property.
One second. Since you were here last month, you're getting more than 3 minutes now. I told you to come tonight, so you're here. So you're fine.
So we need to know what you're gonna do, because the wetlands and people I talked to, the DEP, they're coming down here pretty soon. But I'm gonna need the name of the contractors, I'm gonna need the name of the drillers, I'm gonna name the people, I need a report of the survey that's been used to conduct all why you brought them people there. Why you people drilled on that private property, why you did anything.
You know, we've never heard anything from DEP.
Yeah.
Well, you're about to.
Okay? But we've
In
been,
wetlands and waterlands, they said they'll give you your 147,000, I do believe it was, 42,000 maybe, I don't know. But I talked to them today, Dana Drake, that's her name.
you should bring them up here when you talk
Yeah,
to
Dana Drake, didn't she?
They work for wetlands, I mean, they're probably gonna call you.
Well, Dana Drake has said to me, it's funny you mention her name, because I've communicated with her, not from Munhall, but other communities, and she said the responsibility to clean and take care of any waterway, stream bed, creek bed, is the property owner.
We'll
That's
find
what she
out,
has said to
because
me. I'm just telling you what she
I
said.
got you, but the walls are yours. Mr. East can tell you, he built the walls.
Yeah.
Mr. Eads, did you build the walls down
That
there?
side, but up the creek.
But you did build the walls along the creek, yes, sir?
There's another gentleman in here that's been in that creek for 3 years when he worked for the borough.
Yes, sir, these people built
It's
the
not in
walls.
this private area though.
They are our walls.
Oh, no, it was all in that, not in that area, but the whole creek.
Yeah, I'm talking about the private area we're talking about.
I don't know
This
that
could
person's
go-
here if he
Did
wants to
anybody
talk.
have a survey? Do you have a survey of what you're, of the land you're talking about? Do you have a survey?
Do you have a survey as
I
a
don't
property
know how
owner?
many-
I'm asking you for the
You're
survey.
the property
You
owner.
said you took the surveys, you had all the.
You're the property owner, do you have a property, you have a survey of your property?
No,
Okay,
I don't need to have one.
well,
The thing is, it's your walls, you guys know your walls, you're not maintaining your wall. You promised to fix your walls. Why are you taking a promise away because of a road grant? I have no idea, but they're your walls. And whenever these people get there, and they'll get there, because I'm not leaving them alone, and they're gonna see the other walls that you pushed in the creek, and they're gonna see the walls that you're not maintaining. This is your fault. You drilled through my property, and then you brought machines onto my property. You can deny it if you want, but you did it. And I'm gonna need those names for these contractors if you don't mind.
I don't know, I don't
I
know.
don't have any idea. I mean,
Nobody
I'm
knows.
not challenging
Engineer
your
knows?
history, I wasn't involved in it.
I'm asking, who knows who
The
knows who
engineer
the
knows?
contractors are?
You can get the list off of him.
I've asked for this list, when did I come to
Well,
the
the engineer
office?
doesn't come to every meeting, he's here tonight.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna need that list.
you
Last
see
time I
that?
talked to him, he asked me to talk to the solicitor, so. I mean,
Was
I
it a
didn't
different
get-
question though?
All the same question.
About the names of the companies?
Right,
Yeah,
He
I
wouldn't
wouldn't, I
have-
wouldn't be involved in that.
that's fine. I mean, I just need to know the names. When can I have them?
I'll give it to you. This week I'll give it to David.
All right, well, David, you told me a week and a half ago you'd have them numbers for me. And I
Well,
haven't.
I asked them, and I'm waiting.
Yeah, he
That's
did ask
wonderful.
me. I just haven't gotten to it
This
yet.
is government, government sometimes takes a little time. You'll get them this week.
But there's no excuse for that, by the way, government works slowly, I don't go for that.
Thanks.
I think it's incompetent myself.
Yeah, we guys know you just came in here and done the damage. I mean, why you're not gonna wanna fix it, I can't understand that. You know, we got pictures and.
We were very aware, we know.
All right, well,
There's legal things we have to be careful of. just so you
yes,
know.
sir, there's gonna be, yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Anybody else got anything? And by the way, I'm sorry, but everybody here that will sign that paper for you if you draw it up.
talk about the legal issue.
Yeah, everybody that lives on Ravine Street.
It's right here, right now.
Private area.
Sorry, Creek Street, sorry, I'm mixing them up.
Everybody that's concerned in that road, on that road is in here right now. We all agreed on one thing, finally.
That's good.
Creek Street, I'm mixing
Oh, you
them
don't
up.
know? Oh, you don't know? how
I'm
big
sure I don't, I'm not sure I want to, either,
Yeah.
no.
Well, that's the way it should be, it's America, amen? Jim Dudash, 1026 Creek Street. We live right next door to Mr. Kren, and we're up at the very top. It just seems like too many things that are happening in the world today. They're just, communication went haywire. We've been coming to the meetings since last year when it happened, and there was a flurry of work and excitement, and we're here to help, and things in the very beginning, and machines came, and nobody asked to sign papers, or can we have permission to do this or that. It was, we gotta get in there and clear out the creek and do what needed done, and it was all like, it's gonna be done. It went into the next phase of, everybody got plans drawn up, they put it out for bids, it's in the paper, everything went through, A or B, which way, you all discussed all the plans, everything was going, and it was like, well, we're gonna have to wait till next spring, because of the weather. So it's like, we're 16 months into it.
Now we're almost summer.
Yeah, and so it goes, and we get to the point of, then in the spring it became, we have money for a grant, we're gonna get to work on the road too. Then the situation, is it public, is it private? County's map said it was public, people said, round we went again. So the communications again gets bogged down. Then we came in early April to the Planning Commission, and you talked about, the solicitor wasn't at the meeting, but it was talked about, can we make the road private? It was all, yep, that sounds like we can do it. The Borough Council was in agreement. We'll look into it, and we'll do.
Can we make the road public?
Pardon?
Can we make the road public?
Public, right, exactly. Well, in that case, to do that, the homeowners had to agree. Well, it was like, okay, next week we'll have a letter and we'll get an idea, and then next week came, and when we had passed the word to the other people that lived on the street Nobody came to me with no paper. I didn't see no paper. I never heard no paper, nobody get, I want a paved road, I want to, then we went into, here we go again. So everything went, you're not getting the permission, things shut down again. And then the money gets delayed, and then pretty soon it's got to go back to the government if you don't spend it fast enough. God forbid, the government doesn't spend money fast enough that they take it back. So now we finally, through all the talking and arguing, standing down in the front of the whole world to see, screaming matches and everything else, they understand that it's a two-step process. Our first concern is the hill needs fixed. I'm watching it dropping again. I'm watching things on my property tip. The barrels you put to keep us from driving off the cliff, the further you get right up to my house now, they're leaning like this. And I'm going, communication sucks, but you gotta live with it. So we're looking at, can we get that part of it started? Everybody now is in agreement that if we don't get the road fixed too, you're going to end up with nothing. It doesn't need to be paved. We don't need that. I have never asked for it, neither has Mr. Crand. A couple of the other owners thought it's a good time, let's do it now. It's only 30 grand. It's only, I said, just let's get the road fixed. There's government money to do that. They're already going in over their heads fixing the wall. I know people that live in the borough don't want to spend their tax money to fix something up there. But God forbid any of you lived on that road, you'd be fighting tooth and nail like me.
Absolutely.
You know, and the whole creek is an issue, and it's going to all have to be dealt with. And maybe the Corps of Engineers will sweep in like the cavalry one day, and they'll do something. But man, oh man, I'm not counting on it when I look around at the world
They
today.
gave us a model and told us to find the money.
And so
I had
we're
the
here at
model
the,
already.
just to let you know, as a, we've had our battles too, we've had our communication issues, but the people that are here, the ones you need to sign, that live from the bridge all the way up the hill, are ready to sign the paper to get things going. I understand now that means, well, we're gonna have to do a survey and we're gonna have to, but the fact that they didn't have something to look at bothered some of the people. Well, how am I gonna say I'll give you my land if I can't even look at a piece of paper that says this is what we're taking? How much are we taking? What are we going to do when we take it? That kind of thing. And
Well, this was discussed at executive session about an hour ago.
okay,
In excess. We
okay,
went through it all. So the solicitor's very concerned about legal matters. He's going to have to work on
it's
things.
his job.
At his job, his end, it's not going to be an easy situation. It's gotten so complicated over the last 3 weeks, I can't tell you.
Oh, you could
I
tell
thought
me, and I believe you.
I missed a couple of meetings, I thought it was done, and I came back and it's not finished.
Yeah, it's not just a simple paper I can give you. In
Yes.
other words, I said to council, there's some significant expenses to get ready what they have to sign. First, I need the engineer to go out and survey and make a map and show the dimensions so you know exactly what you're giving up and what we're taking. I have to do a deed of declaration. I gotta get a consent. And so there's a lot of money that the professionals have to spend time on. I said, I just like to know verbally if everyone agrees before we jump into that expense.
Right.
And I wasn't hearing that until today.
So today when you heard, was it a positive yes in that near session that you had?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
I mean, that gives hope.
It gets
Yeah.
some.
You
yeah.
know, hope's a big
On a
thing.
personal note, I get a call, well, everything's screwed up down there. I said, what happened? Well, now they want it paved. I said, well, we're not gonna pave it. And someone wants 2 no parking signs in front of their house. I said, that's definitely not gonna happen. So all of a sudden, it went from almost done to that. You know, so I'm like,
I live there.
I don't know what to tell you. I can't do, we can't do that. So we're still there.
I couldn't get a handicap sign put in front of our church.
Right.
And because they've given out enough of them in the borough of Homestead. So I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
Government is as it is. What we're looking for is the promise of it's going to happen. The hill is going to be fixed. The road, if that's the direction now that we're taking, then that's the direction. If it can't be that way, then we have to move into the next section of, we're just going to repair the section of the road that collapsed and fell over the hill, which basically is Floyd Crend and mine. we're the ones that lost 6 feet of my driveway.
I don't think we can promise you anything at this time.
Yeah.
I really like to be able to do that. I don't think we can.
If you're on our road.
I don't think we can make any promises till we figure things out legally and with the DEP. They never contacted us once because I can't figure that out.
I can't either, because essentially anything that goes into a waterway and
Right.
restricts the flow is supposed to be taken care of immediately.
Greg's very up on those things.
And there's been 2 8-foot by 10-foot slabs of concrete on the other side, just up the creek from us, that have been collapsed in there for over a decade. And a third one that's leaning in. And because of that, the water diverted to our side of the hill, and it washed away the wall that you had built, and everything that was there, undermined it all, caused it to collapse. And below our property, somebody shoved a tandem load of concrete slabs, dumped them into the creek, and so the water couldn't do anything
One of the
but
DEP rules is absolutely, you can take no machinery into the creek.
Right.
Well, how are you supposed to get them out of there? Just wave your hands? I
gotta-
mean,
you
I don't get it.
You went
You
on
gotta
our
get a
property to
permit,
do
Bart.
Yeah.
it. You went on our property.
You have to get a permit to go into the
Well,
creek.
you have to get in there like that, a permit, and and they may have to sit there and, with their binoculars and watch you do it and judge you and shake their finger, which is what they love to do. But even getting in there to pull it back out, but one thing is leading to the next, and because of that, it's this domino effect. Because the first thing didn't get taken care of 30 years ago, it just keeps working its way down. And now we have bigger problems and bigger problems, which is life. It's life.
Thank
If
you,
we
and
don't take care of
I'm
things.
sure we'll see you here next month.
Yeah,
Oh, sure. Okay.
okay, all right. I appreciate your time, your effort.
2 meeting minutes for May 2025.
Motion.
Motion and second, all in favor? Approve meeting minutes, May 13th, 2025 workshop meeting.
Motion.
I have a second?
Second.
Approved? All aye? Reports. President's report. I have no report today. Mayor's report. The mayor's in Alaska. So he'll definitely give no report today. Solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Most of my items were personnel and litigation, which we talked about in executive session, and then just the discussion I had on Creek Street. So that covers everything I have for tonight.
Engineer's report.
Creek Street, which we've just discussed, I actually reached out to the contractor again to see what the escalation was in case you decide to go that route. Catch basin project, I'm still waiting on the contractor's availability. I reached out to them last month, they had a truck broke down, so, you know, everything's flowing as it should, they just need to come back and pretty it up, so. As soon as they get back, but we still have, I think, $3,000 withheld on their contract. Still working on Main Street. We got some lighting prices. I'm not sure if David shared the email with you on lighting styles yet, but he can send those to you. You guys can look through those. And so between the two, the lights, the concrete, we're up to about $1.5 million for that project. That's just high-end estimate, nothing exact yet.
Now, can I just ask you, hearing you say Butane Light will not provide street lighting,
Yep.
so that means it has to come from us, even though it's their poles?
No. We're gonna replace the old street lights with new street lights.
And they're not going to do that, we have to do that.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, Timmy's reached out to them to try to get them to fund that portion of the project, and they said they will not. Let me just finish. Lastly, we opened the bids for the rear lot paving project. We had 6 bidders, and they all came in as well under our estimate of $140 million. $140,000, sorry. Wow. I don't know if you guys have discussed it in executive session, but my recommendation would be to award to the second lowest bidder. The experiences I have had personally with the first lowest.
Who is it, should I ask?
Well, you have the list in front of you, the second page of the engineer's report has the.
Fire excavation, which I've never heard of, was the lowest bidder for $96,154.90. I've never heard of them. I reached out to everybody in the company. We've done work with them on a smaller scale, excavation work, nothing paving.
Yes.
I then found out that Fryer had bought Wright paving, and I've worked with Wright before, and I don't think that they're,
Responsible?
the quality of their work is very good. They did provide a list of different school districts they've paved lots in.
That's page 3.
I haven't reached out to any of these people to get their experience. I just got this afternoon. But, I mean, it's up to you guys what you want to do. But my opinion would be to go with the second lowest bidder.
Are we allowed to do that?
Well, legally, and I'm very familiar with this issue, I've been on this for so many decades, you are required to award to the lowest responsible bidder. Responsible is determination of council based on the work experience, the history, the qualifications, things of that nature. So if a bidder is going to be deemed as not responsible, even though it's the lowest bid, you do not have to award to that bidder. And that's why I was questioning Matt a little bit. Matt, in his experience as our professional engineer, I think is rendering the opinion that he does not believe that lowest bidder, what's the name again?
Fryer excavation.
Yeah, you do not believe them to be responsible bidders. Is that your opinion? You may rely on that opinion and award it to the next lowest bid. I've researched court cases on this. It's in the discretion of council. It has to be a valid basis, and the opinion of your professional engineer is a valid basis to deem the lowest bidder not responsible, and therefore it's not the lowest responsible bid. It's council's discretion to decide.
Okay?
That's all I have.
Code enforcement.
You have a copy of my report. There's 2 things I want to add or ask council. Last year, there's a house up on Kennedy Street that I took to the magistrate. The gentleman did not show up. Later in the summer, I found out that the gentleman had passed away. I got a complaint about his yard this year being high. I told the individual I was talking to, I'm probably not going to take him to the magistrate again because I'm sure he's not going to show up again. How do you want me to handle this?
I have no idea. It's kind of your job, you've been doing it for years, how do you usually handle it?
I usually don't take the person back to the magistrate, waste taxpayers'
Tell me the
money.
history again, sorry.
The gentleman, I took him last July to the magistrate, he didn't show up. We got, I think, I would have to check on my
There
thing.
was a fine?
There was a fine.
Right, he didn't appeal it?
Yeah, in August, I went back up there, actually saw one of his neighbors, asked him, hey, do you know anything about this house? He said, yes, Mr. So-and-so passed away, there's no one living there. The lady who called me this year complaining about the house.
Well, the owner's deceased,
Yes, the
and
lady,
it's vacant.
it's vacant, no one's living there. The grass is high.
Well, those are the tough situations where there's nobody that we can find to compel to do what the property owner is responsible to do. And if we've exhausted all those efforts, and no relative that we know of is taking responsibility or ownership of the property, then we're essentially at a dead end. You know, the only, in these rare circumstances, if it's a health and safety issue, you know, this would be an exception where the borough could send public works over there and then file a municipal claim against the property. It has to be an unusual circumstance, but it sounds like we're at a dead end to compelling any owner to take care of it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So it's just going to grow and grow and grow unless the council decides to send a public works up there.
That's correct. The second thing is, Ms. Reed, you asked last month, I think it was about the old driving range. DEP actually did a inspection on the property on May 14, 2025, and there was no violations. talked to Quinn, asked him about the metal and all that, the scrap. He said what that is when a truck comes in, they have to go through it to make sure it's not being buried. So they put it on the side to be, and Mr. Quinn told me that for a while there his magnet was broke, a triaxle wasn't working right, and he's actually trying to time the market with scrapping and solar right now. But he said he will be removing that pile. But according to DEP, there's no violations up there.
I was asking, there was, some complaints about it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, all that scrap
I
is
wasn't
just,
saying that there was a violation,
Yeah.
I just didn't know what the
But-
process and game plan was for the scrapyard.
yeah, well, it's not scrap here. That scrap is coming from, he even said they found a refrigerator in one load of dirt. So he's not burying it, he's putting it into a pile, and he'll remove it later. That concludes my report.
As far as Boomer's job, if you have any kind of abandoned vehicles on the streets, you notice, especially with me on public property, turn it in. You can be, anonymous about it, you don't have to tell who it is. There's abandoned vehicles on property that's been sitting for years and years and years. I talked about it before, we had a truck that was sitting on the street for almost 30 years. It went away for a while, now it's back, and I'm not gonna say it's kind of up to date, it has a sticker on it. But, I can go anywhere and see abandoned boats, and it just looks terrible. Call it into Dave, and he'll take care of it.
One thing I have to say is you can't be anonymous anymore.
It can't be?
Not really, because there has been cases where the local judge doesn't make you bring anyone down to say who's complaining, but downtown, if they appeal, there has been instances where they ask for who's complaining, and they'll say, bring that person next court.
That's for a citation, but the police could tow it
Yeah.
on the street.
What if it's on public property?
Yes, on public,
I got you.
actually, I just talked to Jamie about that, on private property, I found some in our ordinance that says a police officer can go and have it towed, they have to go through a process.
You know what the process is?
Yeah, I got it written down.
Okay,
So
there's a
I'm-
lot of that everywhere.
Yeah.
And, well, Tim can tell you, what are you doing in Homestead with those situations where there's a abandoned vehicle on private property, it's sitting back, what do you guys do with it down there?
I have like 7 in court right now. Same
Okay.
thing, sitting on those where motor vehicles not running, not inspected on private property, and you take them to the magistrate.
Basically, you just send them a letter first.
Yep.
Okay.
Barney,
It's a violation, and then
only
use the
thing,
town and remove it.
only thing about this is the last four cases I had, one showed up, one person. And they were found guilty, actually.
Okay.
But most of the people don't even show up,
So if they don't show up and they have an abandoned vehicle, what happens?
they get fined.
They get fined.
Yeah.
They keep the abandoned vehicle on there.
Oh, yeah, they don't show up. Or no one's living there, but I did find something where a police officer can go on.
Will you look into that more
Oh.
extensively?
I got it.
Definitely.
If the car, truck, whatever is on the street, what can be done?
The police could tow it, they have to
They
tag
can
it,
tow
tow
it.
it.
So the police can have it towed
On the street.
on the
On the
street,
street, we
okay?
can, for sure. I have to see what you have.
Okay. I already did the public comments. So wait, we're gonna go to,
No, we got
You got some more?
full reports going. Public Works, I haven't, I kind of think, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, we're doing our usual patching holes and cutting grass. Tomorrow, we're gonna go to Ohio and look at the electric garbage trucks. That's our big field trip. See what they're all about.
I sent Boomer pictures of the catch basin across at Main and Roberta. It's collapsed. Did you happen to see the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, the drain opening is probably no more than 10 or 11 inches. And they say it floods like unbelievable, and the sidewalk behind it has caved in also.
It's gonna be replaced.
What's that, the storm?
Yeah.
And, because during the downpour a couple weeks ago, after I sent Boomer the pictures, they had sent me pictures of the cars going through the downpour, and I did it myself. It's pretty extensive. Someone goes through there, they're going to hydroplane and end up where they don't want to be. So you're on it?
I got a contractor wanna put it in the street.
Okay. Thank you.
They give you a bid already, Bob?
Yeah,
You know how much it is?
$6,000.
Thank you.
The neighbor told me that they paid, that whoever paved up there paid right into that at the
Yeah,
time.
they didn't leave much opening for.
Right, there's like nothing there.
Yeah.
Okay. Police chief,
Thank you, Mr. President. Council has a copy of my report. For the month of May, officers responded to 741 calls for service, made 43 arrests, conducted 193 traffic stops, and issued 186 traffic citations. Extra duty, officers worked 38 hours of extra duty, 105 of regular overtime, and 53 hours of court overtime. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
any questions from council to the chief? Fire chief,
Thank you, Mr. President. You have a copy of my report. For the month of May, the Bureau of Fire responded to 64 calls, 43 of those in town, 21 mutual aid. Our average response time to the first unit en route to the call was 2 minutes and 21 seconds. First unit on scene was 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Quick update on the vehicles. Number 4's engine is back in service. Number 1 squirt is back in service. Number 5's tower, the parts have come in early. I talked to Bob Roman the other day, and we might have that back within 3 to 4 weeks.
we should probably have a parade.
Instead
How was
of,
it taken?
instead of it, well, it was initially supposed
How
to
long
be
has it been
out.
now for the number 4 strike?
Number 4's was out for 11 months.
Wow. I was gonna say it's pretty close to a year, yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully we'll have that back, and the fleet will be back into full operation. And then lastly, you're gonna be seeing, we have a meeting Thursday, but the fire department has partnered with the Red Cross to do a smoke detector program. Once it's all finalized, number 4 has already started, but you'll see advertisements on the page, and I'll probably have something on the borough website where we will install, you call the Red Cross if you need smoke detectors. That fire company in that particular area will go to that house, install up to 2
Wow.
detectors for that resident.
Anybody,
Give them
anybody who needs it.
Anybody in town that would need a smoke detector needs to call the Red Cross. They will contact us with the address. We will make the arrangements to go there, install the smoke detector, give them a brief fire safety on the operation of the smoke detector. They'll sign off on it. We send the paperwork back, and you'll have that at no cost.
How are we gonna get that out there?
We're gonna have advertisements on all of our Facebook pages. I'll have the borough put it on the website.
Okay.
Once we get, all the information finalized, and it'll be up and running until they run out of detectors.
Good, good. That's great.
That's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Do you think you could put that on number 4 sign?
We're gonna put it on the Facebook side, we'll put it on the community page, we'll put it on, we'll get it out there. We'll probably have some flyers from, the Red Cross that we can put in businesses and stuff like that, so. Like I said, I'll know more on Thursday, once we finalize the rest of the paperwork, and we'll go from there.
Thanks, chief. Manager's report.
All right, a few things I have to work in the report, but I will give you the highlights. Currently working on the liquid fuels audit, which will cover the years 2022 to 2024. It should be done ideally in the next 3 weeks. The financial audit is nearly complete. I am finalizing the AG 385 report, which is the state report on pensions that the state requires every year. I'll have it done by the end of this month. I attended a webinar recently on downtown redevelopment, which I think is quite interesting. Basically, the core of it idea is there's a variety of different strategies we can employ that are not very expensive, that could build on each other and slowly kind of bring more life to our downtown. I'm also working on getting a list of companies to reach out to for zoning ordinance bids. We need to look at our ordinances across the board, but specifically we need to review all of our zoning ordinances. There are companies out there that specialize in that.
Way overdue.
The Troutman field cameras were supposed to be installed tomorrow, but we're missing one piece of equipment, so they will be installed next week. The piece of equipment was ordered today, so it should arrive quickly.
Who's installing them?
Our IT guy,
Okay.
Michelle's. I met with the police department a few weeks ago with the idea of turning, so we're on the first floor of this building, 2 floors up. On the far side, right above the chief's office, 2 floors above the chief's office, is a large open space with nice windows. The police are interested in turning that into basically an unarmed combat training space with padded walls and padded floors. I can try to get some more specific details about it, but we could also, in theory, rent the space out to other departments to use for that as well.
You better come up with a cost.
Yeah, well, it doesn't cost us anything, aside from building out the wall, from the stairway into that door.
Oh, there is a cost there.
There's a small cost, yes, but that's what the police department's interested in doing. They will fill it out, they will build it out themselves, the police department. But I will get you a cost of an estimated cost of the actual wall build for that corner. Also, building update, I'm besides the hallway build out on the second floor, I'm also gonna incorporate the contractor, once we put out the bid again, to put the security wall on the far side of the mayor's office, so that this floor is more secure for our employees. So that will combine both those bids with the same thing.
That's big too, because just coming here for my first time a couple of years ago, I couldn't believe you could just walk in right into the manager's office, it's like.
So we'll get both the second floor build out and the security wall built this year.
Okay.
So that's the plan. Oh, one other thing, we do have one bid, and I want to get some more bids for the roof awning thing behind this door here, to protect it from water so we don't get flooding anymore. And that's currently, the one bid we have is for $3,250.
From who?
Cotus Remodeling, but we'll get a couple of the bids.
Well, that's not gonna be a residential roof on there like shingles.
No.
We have to, how can they bid something unless we spec what we want?
We're gonna have to spec it out. Yeah.
Right, we can't have bids till we know exactly. Has to be a commercial overhang that matches the architecturally the rest of the building.
Yeah, I'll work with our engineer to get the actual specs prepared on this as well.
Right.
But I want to get that issue resolved.
Okay.
Flooding.
Now, back to Public Works, since we had the flood here, did we camber the drain?
Not yet.
Well, that's kind of important before we get another deluge and we end up with another flooded road.
I took that screen off the top over the weekend and we had no problems at all.
Okay.
So it's when the screen gets clogged, is when we have the flooding. All the leaves and grass clippings go in there and clogs the screen up.
You know, building's been here since '64. I wonder how long they've had that problem. We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't. Now, Mr. Cap brought it up at the workshop last week about the air conditioning units on the roof. What did we confirm we have with that? We thought we had 1 or 2.
We have 6 units up there.
They're original units? They're new units?
They're new, right? Yeah,
Wow.
new units. 3 of them are larger than, there's 3 large ones, 3 small ones.
Okay,
As far as I can tell, 3 are currently being used.
okay.
The other 3, I don't know the status of how they're connected to the system.
So as far as we had any more build-outs, they'd be available,
They'd be available.
which we didn't know before.
We didn't know we had.
That's real.
Yeah, we don't have to pay for that now.
Right.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have enough air conditioning units, or heating units, for this building, to build the whole building.
Wow. That's great.
Couple things, Dave.
Mhm.
We could talk about update, you got an update on the signage for this building?
I reached out to the original company that Seth reached out to a year or 2 ago. They have not given me a new quote, so I'm going to have to start scratch and find a company that will, a couple companies that will give us some bids on the sign. Are you talking about the design for the building, or yeah? I still need to get some more bids. The company I was reaching out to stopped communicating with me, so it seems like they're not interested. So I'm going to have to start again in the process and find some other companies. But it is a priority because this building needs to have some signage on it.
Another thing,
Yeah.
the bandstand, has anything been done down there as far as updating?
The gazebo?
Pardon me?
The gazebo on Kennedy Park?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what old guys call it the bandstand.
What's the status on that, Bob?
That's what I called it, yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Bob, do you have any update on that one?
Nope.
Okay. I will talk to Bob about it.
I stopped and looked at it one day. It needs work. It needs a lot of work. It is extensive work.
All right, good. I will get you an answer and a plan for getting that fixed.
Well, was it our public works who did the cement work in front of the old building?
Yeah.
No, it looks fabulous. Who did it?
That was a
On
water
utilities.
break. That was a water break, and water company brought a subcontractor. in.
Really? How wonderful for us. That's
Okay.
nice.
Items requiring council votes.
Hold on, I gotta give you a tax collector report first.
Okay. I didn't see her here, I didn't think we were gonna.
No, I got an update on how much we've collected so far. Final number so far this year, the tax collectors collected has been $4,414,284. So we're ahead of schedule from last year, which is good. She estimates we have a little less than $1 million left to collect for the year.
That's really well.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's it.
Hey, Dave. Items requiring council votes, go ahead.
All right. Motion to pay bills excluding payroll for a period of May 1st to May 31st, $475,588.38.
Motion.
Second, I can't second that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve payroll for a period ending in May 8th and May 22nd for a total of $339,390.51.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Adoption of the 2021 International Property Maintenance Code. It's the latest version that we can use for our code enforcement. Motion.
Second. Motion.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, this is regarding the lower parking lot. I don't know if you want to add any discussion on that.
I just think we should have an amount.
Well,
Well, I didn't have it on until today.
are you accepting the engineer's opinion and rejecting the lowest bidder? Matt said he doesn't believe they're responsible. That's prior excavating.
Okay,
If you agree with that and you accept that, legally, that's a valid basis. I've already stated that.
so that's the
Then
amount of 96,
No, that's the bid you're rejecting, based on your engineer's opinion. So the second lowest bid is that Melee and Melee?
Who's the second?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mealy.
Mealy and Sons is the second lowest bid, and the lowest responsible bidder at $113,543.50. So that, the motion should be amended to identify the winning bidder as Mealy and Sons Incorporated, and the amount I just stated.
What was that amount again?
Yeah, $113,543.50.
Now, why again do we not want to use Fryer? What was your reasoning behind that?
I personally never heard of Fryer prior to looking into it. Fryer apparently bought another paving company. I've worked with that paving company before, and their work is not very good.
That's what Greg said in his personal opinion. He would recommend.
We didn't check any of these references that they put.
I didn't have a chance to call them. I literally got it at like 4:30 this afternoon.
Okay.
It's up to council. If you want to take more time and look into this prior, you may, but you can,
That's kicking cans down the road.
you have a valid legal basis to act tonight if you want. So,
I'd like to
We're
vote on
talking
it.
like $17,000.
Right,
I say
It
we
would be
go
done.
we
with
go with it.
million.
All right,
Million.
the motion is to vote to award the bid to Mealy and Sons, Inc. for the paving lower parking lots for $113,540.50 as the lowest responsible bidder.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We didn't get much a chance to talk about this, but there's 2 months ago, the council approved hiring 2 seasonal workers. Bob and I have identified 2 workers that we think will work well for the next 3 months. And the next two are basically vote to hire those two.
Yeah, what's their hourly rate then?
$15 an hour.
Okay, that should be in the motion.
Got it.
Pay us.
Yeah, that's,
All right. Vote to hire Austin Myers as seasonal summer help for public works at $15 an hour for the next 3 months.
Motion. Second.
Right. All in favor?
aye.
Vote to hire Ethan Bird as seasonal summer help for public works for $15 an hour for the next 3 months.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah, we're tabling the DEC STMP program, we're not ready to vote on that. We have it down to 3, right,
Three applicants
applicants, so
will present
Next
before the next workshop.
very nice.
All right. Vote to accept Chief Thomas Ford's retirement as Munhall Police Chief.
I don't know about this one, you know.
Motion. Unfortunately, a
I don't
motion.
know, I'm not too crazy about this,
Me neither.
you know.
Yeah, we should have the effective date.
That would be
15th.
August 15th.
August 15th for the effective date.
Right. We don't like it, Tom, but we wish you well, you know.
Thank you.
There is a motion, but no second.
We have a motion, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Reluctantly,
With
Opposed?
regret.
Big regret.
All right, next question. Next vote. Since we have now accepted the resignation of the retirement of the current police chief, a vote to advertise internally for a Munhall Police Chief position.
Motion.
Second.
question on the motion. This is just internally, we'll advertise it.
Yes.
Now, from what I hear from regular council, they want to go outside
Okay.
and advertise outside, is that right? Anybody speak up here and just jump in here.
I think if we go outside, our morale's gonna go completely through the roof.
I think it's a good idea just to go outside and check
Well,
it
you're
out.
telling your guys that you can work your way up through here, but you're never gonna make it to the
Well,
top.
that's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Mr. Eads,
Going outside, going, having internally, think, given the option, you know, I don't see an issue if our number one, we have a guy in here that should be number one, let's make him number one, but I don't see, you know.
you don't want to go outside.
I'm not in disagreement going outside.
I'd like to advertise outside myself. Greenie?
I think it should be advertised both in and out.
Okay.
I mean, you don't
Rusty?
know. Maybe there's somebody who really is going to
Right,
knock our
somebody we
socks
knock our
off,
socks
and
off.
we don't even know.
Right.
So,
We'd sell our stuff short, not looking.
right.
Right.
I just think that we should look internally first, and then
Yes.
if we weren't satisfied, then to go outside, but that's.
I think we should ask the chief what his recommendations
No,
are.
he just retired, just resigned.
The retirement chief.
No, that's not happening. Okay.
Until all
Can we
this-
get his opinion?
No,
Okay,
no, I don't think so.
all right.
Okay. He doesn't have a vote here. Okay?
If you just go internally, well, I think everybody knows who the applicants are gonna be. But if you go outside, you'll have a more of a choice.
You definitely will. So you want to go outside?
Well, I'm not against it,
Okay, you'd like to go outside. I would.
I would.
Greenie would, and Mr. Eads. So we have 4 to 2. So we want to advertise outside also. We do it both at the same time?
Well, we can, I haven't written it like that, but,
We can do this, go ahead, Greg, help me with this one. We can advertise in, and then we'd have to wait till the next meeting to vote on advertising out.
No, the subject is on the
Right.
agenda. You can amend it and make it internally and also outside.
Outside, okay. Can you have that one?
well, I think, first of all, since there's been a motion and a second, you would need to reject.
Rescind.
I don't know how you do that, but.
There's a motion to amend.
All right, motion to amend. All right, motion to amend the item number 9 to advertise for the Munhall Police Chief both internally and externally from the borough of Munhall.
Motion.
Second.
Hold on a second.
so is that,
This is just amending the.
We're gonna have to do interviews then too, right?
No matter what, we're gonna have to do that.
Okay, so we can,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start over. We don't need two votes here. It should be motion to amend and approve
okay.
advertisement,
Right.
chief of police position internally and externally. And
That's
you
it.
better do a roll call.
All right. Mr. Eads,
Yes.
Mr. Youngkins,
No.
Ms. Fry,
Yes.
Mr. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. Firestone,
No.
Mr. Woodadine.
Yes.
Motion carries. One second. My notes are here. Okay. Vote to establish subcommittee, develop recommendations for the old borough building.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
You opposed?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to have, how do you want to handle the actual committee? For next week, next workshop, we discuss it, the structure of it?
We'll have to advertise it,
Okay.
you know.
This is for council and public on the committee?
Right.
Okay. All right.
We have to have a number. We can't have like 40 people.
No.
No, we have to have a number, no more than 7?
Seven, that'd be hard.
5?
I'd say
No
5.
more than 5, okay. And we have to limit, you can't have 5 people from council.
I think Tim and I said we'd be on, so why don't we get 3 from?
Well, that's it.
Okay.
Two from council?
And 3 from the public, right.
I will advertise, and then council can decide who will be on it next council meeting.
Okay.
All right, we have, in our general fund, we have approximately $4.2 million, and I suggest transferring $3 million temporarily to Pliget to accrue more interest. So I want a motion to transfer
Motion.
$3 million to
Definitely.
our Pliget fund.
Do you want to give some information on what we're going to do?
Yes,
What the Pliget is?
Pliget is our long-term interest-bearing accounts that the borough uses. Currently, we have about 1.5 million in our accounts, which is basically our reserve. But since we have about a lot of money in our general fund, not generating much interest, we transfer $3 million over for the next 3 or 4 months. We will have enough to generate ideally $20,000 more for the borough.
Okay.
I second.
Who
You made the motion.
Dave.
I did.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, vote to advertise and solicit bids for 3 speed humps on Ravine Street.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Question?
Vote to advertise for, yeah?
Question on the
Yes.
motion?
Have fun.
You put them speed bumps down there, don't you think the people from the other parts of the borough gonna request it too?
Take them one at a time. We did a calming study down there, and they're,
And can I answer?
absolutely.
I've been working with the chief. We had one up on Roberta and one up on Cambria, those signs. We let them on for a while, and we shut them off, and we keep collecting data. This way we can decide with our engineer if it warrants for us to pay to go get a study for speed humps. This way we're not wasting the money on a study, we're doing our own study. So we put it on one side of the street for a while, then we'll put it on the other side of the street, the same way we did on Ravine Street. And I was looking at Cambria and Roberta. Am I correct there, Chief? Yes.
And I don't know any place around that you can actually walk out your front door and be in the middle of the street in about 12 feet. Ravine Street, I mean, it's,
I had a car flip over in front of my house.
Dave sent me a video of a car driving right through a telephone pole like he meant to do it.
Didn't even flinch.
It was like crazy. And since we did the study, God, if something happens down there,
There's been
there
3
was a
accidents
study,
since
it's
then.
been over a year now, but we studied, close to a year. Something happens, so we'll get the ball rolling on that. We have plans to go with the county on, they're gonna start on the county end, but they're gonna look for grants, and before you know it, it's gonna be next year, by the time we get it done. Right, so we're gonna start on our own. Okay?
Next, item number 13, vote to advertise for amending the canvassing solicitation ordinance to adjust the times and types of activities.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote to advertise for ordinance amending the current police pension plan to allow current full-time police officers to purchase up to 5 years of pension service credit for previous qualifying services.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Vote to accept the planning commission recommendation to approve the Custrub subdivision.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Actually, I would have revised calculation here. This number is not quite accurate. I got a new number today. It's less, so that's good.
This is good.
Hold on. We're installing blackout shades and other cooling shades in the assistant chief's office, the chief's office, and the sergeant's rooms.
Can't we do that ourselves?
Not easily, not with our, we need a specific type of covering, especially for the assistant chief's office because of the visibility into that office from the outside. And that has to be a very specific type of material. And Bob does not feel confident in our capacity to do that. All right, $3,835. That one.
3,008 what?
$3,835. Number 16. Okay, vote to install blackout shades for the chief and assistant chief officers security requirements. This also includes the sergeant's room as well.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Vote to approve Nova Strategy annual agreement for $2,385 a month from July 1st to 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This is our grant writer who does really good work.
And I would like to just say to anybody who doesn't know, this fella in Nova Strategist has gotten us a lot of money. I mean, we're paying basically, let's say, $2,800 or $28,000 a year. He got us, Dave, how much? $400,000 for the one project.
Yeah, Main Street Matters, basically the 1.1 million we've gotten for Main Street is really for him, plus the money we got for Creek Street, plus IT grants for the police.
He's very impressive, no doubt.
He works hard, he gets us money.
He communicates.
Yeah, he's very, very, very good.
Vote to renew the agreement between Acrisure and Munhall regarding the provision of actuary services for the Borough of Munhall for its 2 pension programs for a total of $10,960.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Vote to sign the landowner letter of commitment between Munhall Sanitary Sewer Municipal Authority regarding the Munhall owned park at 12th Avenue and Market Street. Talked about the workshop.
Right.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This, we didn't get much chance to talk about it, but this is, we talked about it briefly last week, but this is basically for our generator to have monthly service to make sure it doesn't happen again, shutting out.
Do we have a cost there?
Yeah, sorry, it's right here. It is in the last one. Pull it up, 1 second. Here it is. $1,988.05.
I actually questioned, when that happened the night of the big storm, if this wouldn't be an insurance matter, because some people say there was a power surge, there was a lightning strike, that took our generator out all the way down West Street, but how we get into that, to turn it into an insurance company, I wouldn't have any idea. But it is a possibility. All of a sudden, that thing gets tested every week, and then we need it that night, that doesn't work.
No, I've submitted an email to our insurance
Okay.
broker.
All right.
I haven't gotten a response yet, but I'll follow up tomorrow.
All right.
And how long is that for the 1988?
That's for a year.
A year?
Mhm.
Per year?
Mhm.
And they were here that night of the storm, sent somebody out, they were on the ball, helping us out and get everything back together. Get us back online, I think, the next day.
Yeah.
Two days maybe, I don't know.
Next afternoon.
Next afternoon, yeah.
About 24 hours later.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's it.
Any comments from the public on the good of the borough of Munhall? I'll take a comment.
Mr. President, can I report?
Absolutely.
I just want to say, I want to thank everybody for the support I had over the past few months. I had an incident inside the school building regarding my son. Those charges have been withdrawn against me. I got attended to everybody, let everything play out. I appreciate everyone's support. If I disappointed you, again, I'm sorry. I'm still going to be here working for you for at least 2 more years. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. Aaron, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.